Hi, I'm Charlotte with Freezer Meals 101. Welcome to this week's edition of What's for Dinner. I'm going to take you through and show you how I transformed our freezer meals into our family's dinners. So if you are looking for how we made the freezer meals in the first place, I'm going to put a link right up there, and I will also link at the end of the video to a video of how my neighbor Christy and I made all of these meals over the course of 2 days. We did 126 meals, and now it is awesome to be able to just go and order from my freezer. So we had a lot of variety in the last week. So the first thing that we had was the Cajun sausage and veggie sheet pan meal. I'm really starting to love sheet pan meals, and we're making more and more of them as freezer meals because it's so convenient and creates less dishes, which I always am a fan of. And this particular time, I threw on the sheet pan some double stuffed baked potatoes that I got at the farmer's market, and those were also from the freezer. Now, I have to tell you, because I'm excited about this, but in a month or so, Christy and I are gonna get together and we're gonna do a video for you on making double stuffed baked potatoes for the freezer. We're gonna make a bunch of different kinds. We're gonna experiment, and that way I don't have to buy them from the farmer's market anymore, because I have been doing that for the last year or so when I discovered this place that has them, and they're really delicious, but they are a lot pricier when I buy them that way. So we're gonna start making our own. We're gonna experiment with a few different recipes, and of course, when we find the best one, then we'll be able to share that with you guys in the Freezer Meals 101 Club. The link for that is down below. But back to what we had for dinner. So that night we did our Cajun sausage and veggie sheet pan, and then just on the side, again, only using that one pan, I put the double stuffed baked potatoes. So that made for a very full meal. Those potatoes were like filled with cheese and bacon and jalapenos, so really hard to go wrong with that. It was all really delicious, and we had not one little thing left on the sheet pan. It was all devoured. Next thing that we had this week was the sausage tortellini skillet. I love that that one is so easy to put together. Just thaw it, put it in the skillet. I actually hadn't thawed it as well as I should have, but it still worked out. And then we just add a tiny bit of water and cook that up. The tortellini cooks up right in the skillet, and everything's in there. You've got your vegetables with the peppers and onions, and you've got the tortellini are filled with cheese, so you've got, you know, your dairy represented, and you've got the grains with the pasta, and then the sausage, so you've got protein. So that is kind of an all-in-one nice meal. We usually top that with some Asiago or Parmesan cheese and some red chili flakes because we like things spicy. Now, it's really hard to go wrong with spaghetti. Our family always loves spaghetti. It's always gonna be a hit. So one night we did pull out the spaghetti sauce from the freezer and just had spaghetti and garlic bread and Caesar salad. And that is always, always going to be a favorite. Now, breakfast for supper used to be something I made before I started doing freezer meals, when I'd be panicked that I had forgotten to even think about what we were gonna have that night. So breakfast for supper used to be something that I kind of thought of in a negative way because it was out of desperation that I would do it. But now when we have breakfast for supper, it's because we want to. And I love that. I love that freezer meals have given me that freedom, and that now I'm choosing to do breakfast for supper because we like the flavors and we like the comfort, and it's just something fun to do once in a while. So I took out a hash brown casserole from the freezer and cooked that up in the slow cooker. That's a nice way to just have it ready. I put that in around lunchtime and it was ready for dinner. And then I made some little omelets and bacon, and so we just had a really simple but good breakfast for supper that night. And then the last thing that we had this week was beef stroganoff. Again, this is one that we make all the time. You guys are probably sick of hearing about beef stroganoff, but every time we make freezer meals, we always make 6 of them. So 3 for our family and 3 for Christy's family. So we have them often. And actually that night, Christy's daughter was over here for supper, and she had drawn on the bags when we were doing the freezer meals. We ran out of labels for those, and so she had just drawn on there like made with love. And so it was kind of cute that she happened to be over that night, and I showed her that I had taken out her bag of beef stroganoff, and she got a kick out of that. So that we always serve on egg noodles. Again, because I like the kick, I do add some red chili flakes or red pepper flakes on top of that, just on individual bowls because not everybody likes it. I do heat up the beef stroganoff in the skillet, and then I add some extra sour cream towards the end of it cooking, and then serve it over the egg noodles, and that's it. So that is a very, very simple one. This next week, we are super excited to try some of the new to us recipes that we made. The recipes that we had this past week were recipes that we've, the tried and true ones that we've had before. But this next week coming up, we are going to be trying more of the new recipes. And so I'll let you know how those go. I'm going to put the video right here of us making the freezer meals, so you can check that out if you missed it. And thank you for joining me today. Happy cooking.